Hour 2. Your cat is sitting in your chair, not their bed, not the couch. Your chair, the one you sit in every single day. And they are not sleeping in it. They are sitting in it, upright, alert, facing the room, like they are running something. Hour 4. They are in your bathroom. They have pulled your hair tie off the counter. They are batting it down the hallway, alone, in complete silence, in a house with no audience, playing, fully, like a kitten. Hour 6. They are at your bedroom window, pressed against the glass, completely still, watching the street below with an intensity they have never once shown you. Hour 7 and 42 minutes. They hear something. They are in the kitchen in under 3 seconds. They check every room in the house, systematically, quickly, exactly the way I showed you in the 30-day footage video. And then they return to your chair, sit down, and wait. 11 minutes later, you come home, and they greet you at the door like nothing happened, like they've just been sitting there the entire day. I left a camera running while I went to work. I expected my cat to sleep all day. What the footage actually showed was 8 hours of behavior I was completely unprepared for. Your cat is living an entirely different life when you close that front door. By the end of this video, you will know exactly what that life looks like, what they do, in what order, and what it reveals about who your cat actually is when no one is watching. And one thing the footage showed, something that happens in almost every home at almost exactly the same time every day, is going to stay with you. The first hour, what happens when the door closes? The door closes. You are gone. And your cat does something that took me completely by surprise. For the first 15 to 30 minutes after your departure, they look for you. Not frantically, not in distress, but deliberately. They move through the rooms you were just in. They check the spaces you occupied. They pause at the spots that still carry your scent. Your side of the bed, your chair, the bathroom counter you stood at this morning. Research on single-owner cats in the first hour post-departure documents consistent behavior. Scent investigation of owner-occupied spaces. Brief elevated arousal, then a distinct settling behavior. They are not panicking. They are confirming. You left. The evidence is everywhere. Your scent, your warmth still present in the fabric of the chair. The biological record of your morning in every room. They read all of it. And then they do something that I found more moving than I expected. They settle in the space with the highest scent concentration. Your chair. Your side of the bed. The corner of the couch where you always sit. They are not sleeping there because it's comfortable. They are sleeping there because it smells like you. And in the absence of you, the presence of your scent is the next best thing their attachment system has available. The solo life. What your cat does when the performance is over. Here's what I mean when I say your cat lives a different life when you're not home. The behavior changes are not subtle. Vocalization increases significantly in many cats when alone. Not distress calls, but the full range of sounds cats produce when they are not self-editing for a human audience. Chirping at birds through windows, chattering at insects. The small sounds of active engagement with their environment that they produce less frequently when you are present. Play behavior, particularly in cats who seem sedentary or disinterested during the day, often activates fully in the owner's absence. The 40-day footage I reviewed showed cats that spent most of owner-present hours resting, shifting to active play patterns, stalking, pouncing, running, within the first hour of owner departure. Territory behavior increases. The patrol circuits I described in the 30-day footage video, the nightly territorial assessment, have a daytime equivalent that many cats perform when the house is theirs alone. The furniture they use changes. Cats that politely avoid certain surfaces when you're watching, your desk, your bed center, your pillow, frequently occupy these spaces freely when you're gone. This is not disobedience. This is a cat whose territory management is no longer being modified by the social presence of a human. They are being, when you are absent, more cat. Not a different cat, just the version of themselves that exists before the accommodation of your preferences begins. The window hours, 11 a.m. to 2 p.m. This was the finding that surprised me most. Not the solo play, not the chair occupancy, not even the vocalization changes. The window hours. Between approximately 11 a.m. and 2 p.m., in the footage I reviewed, and in the behavioral research that documents cat activity patterns in owner-absent homes, there is a consistent peak in what researchers call environmental monitoring behavior. Your cat stations themselves at specific windows. They track movement on the street, in neighboring yards, in the trees, not casually, with the kind of sustained, intent attention that suggests something much older than a house cat looking out a window. The position, weight forward, ears fully rotated, tail low and still, is the stalking posture of a predator. Your cat, in the quiet hours of the middle of the day, reverts to something their biology has never actually put down. They are a hunter, tracking a territory, monitoring movement at the edges of their range, in your living room, alone, while you are in a meeting. There is a word for what your cat is doing in those window hours. Researchers call it environmental enrichment-seeking behavior. I call it the version of your cat that is 19 million years old. The anticipation window, how your cat knows you're coming. I showed you this in the 30-day footage video, but it deserves its own section because watching it in real time, watching a cat's behavior shift precisely in the minutes before an owner arrives, is something that changes how you see the whole relationship. Somewhere between 20 and 45 minutes before your typical return time, your cat's behavior shifts. Movement increases. Position changes more frequently. Window monitoring redirects from environmental patrol to the specific direction of your typical approach. The solo play stops. The territorial performance ends. And your cat begins what looks, behaviorally, exactly like what it is. Waiting. Not passively, not asleep. Alert. Positioned. Ready. The biological clock, ultradian rhythms aligned to your schedule over weeks and months of pattern recognition, tells them you are coming. And so, they wait. In some footage, at the door. In some footage, at the window with a view of the street. In one piece of footage that I have watched more times than I can count, a cat who spent 7 hours doing exactly as they pleased, chair, windows, solo play, patrol, sat down at the front door exactly 22 minutes before their owner's key turned in the lock, and didn't move, just waited for the person who was coming back. What separation anxiety actually looks like versus what it doesn't. Here's the part that matters most for cat owners who worry. The footage I described, the solo play, the window hours, the chair occupying, the door waiting, is normal. This is a cat who is comfortable in their own company, engaged with their environment, and securely attached to their owner. Separation anxiety in cats looks different. It looks like persistent vocalization that does not resolve in the first 30 minutes, destructive behavior that is not present when the owner is home, failure to eat or drink during owner-absent hours, inappropriate elimination that is specifically correlated with owner absence, excessive self-grooming to the point of hair loss. These are not behaviors of a cat living their solo life fully. These are behaviors of a cat whose attachment system is in distress. The distinction matters because many owners worry unnecessarily, seeing any behavioral change in their absence as a sign of suffering. Most of what happens when you leave is not suffering. Most of it is your cat finally having the house to themselves. But some of it, if you see it in your own footage, is worth a conversation with a veterinary behaviorist. And the only way to know which one your cat is doing is to look. Set up a camera. Watch an hour. Your cat has been living this life for as long as they have lived with you. You have simply never seen it. I want to tell you about the footage I have watched more times than anything else. It is not the most dramatic clip. It is not the most surprising. It is an hour of footage from a camera positioned in a living room. And what it shows is a cat living their full life, playing alone with total commitment, exploring every surface without restriction, spending 20 minutes at a window with the focused attention of a creature who was built for exactly this. And then, 40 minutes before the owner's typical return, sitting down in the center of the room, facing the door, and waiting. For the whole 40 minutes. Just waiting. And when the door opens, this cat who has just lived 8 hours of complete, independent, fully realized cat life goes immediately to their person. Not because they had to, not because there was food involved, because that is who they were waiting for, all day, while they were being, as fully as they knew how to be, themselves. Your cat has been doing this every day, living completely when you are gone, waiting for you to come back, greeting you at the door as if the 8 hours were nothing. Because to them, in the most important sense, they were. You came back. That is the only part that mattered. Tag someone who wonders what their cat does all day. Tell them they have a whole life, and they spend part of every day waiting for you to come home to it. If this made you want to set up a camera, do it. And hit subscribe, because every week we go deeper into what your cat is actually doing, feeling, and choosing, and why understanding it changes the relationship. Next time, the first 48 hours your cat spends in a new home. What their nervous system is doing, what you can do that helps versus hurts, and why that window sets the trajectory for everything that comes after. If you've ever brought home a cat, or ever will, that video is for you. Drop a comment below. Have you filmed your cat while you were away? What did you find? And if you haven't, what do you think your cat is actually doing right now while you're watching this? I want to know both. Share this with someone who thinks their cat just sleeps all day. Tell them to check the footage. It is never what anyone expects.